Okay, so as for the cars around us, just ahead are Leclerc and Russell, and behind us are Verstappen, Bottas and Vettel. Currently, the fastest lap is a 1:25.7. Fantastic. That was the fastest lap. You are in first position, front of the pack, and we're in front of Bottas, Russell and Verstappen. The fastest lap at this point in time is a 1:25.3. Fantastic. You've got pole.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top three. The rookie, Stroll, and Kevin Magnussen. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours.
Who would you say is your biggest rival at the moment?
What was the secret of your qualifying pace? There's quite a buzz around this team at the moment. Appreciate your time.
Welcome along then to the magnificent Suzuka International Circuit, a stone's throw away from Issa Bay in the beautiful Japanese countryside. What surprises lie in wait for us today in the Japanese Grand Prix? We're southwest of the city of Nagoya today at the unique figure-of-8 Suzuka Circuit. 3.6 miles and 18 corners make up a lap here, with average speeds approaching 136 miles per hour. DRS will be available, of course, into the potential passing opportunity at turn 1, although the best place for overtaking will be through 130R and into the final chicane. Anthony Davidson joins me again for the race today. Can we begin by having a chat about Charles Leclerc? They need to win in order to stay in contention for the title. Anything outside of that, and their fate is no longer in their hands.
The key now will be to keep in the right mindset. We've seen time and again that things go wrong if you just try and do the minimum. Not necessarily because of the pressure, but because it's different to your usual approach. They'll need to avoid that and stay focused today.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. The rookie lines up on pole position with Lance Stroll alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Magnussen, Russell, Max Verstappen and Bottas, Leclerc, Norris, Vettel and Esteban Ocon, Albon, Latifi, Antonio Giovinazzi and Kvyat. They've taken a grid penalty. Gasly, Aitken, Nick de Vries and Guan Yu Zhou, Giotto and Nobuharu Matsushita. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish. We're not seeing any technical issues coming off the practice start. Watch the RPM on the full start. We don't want to bog down. Okay, we're low on fuel. Try shifting up the gears a little sooner. This should help us save some fuel. Safety car. No overtaking. Reduce your pace. Keep your delta number positive as we form up. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Understood, copy that. Stroll is ahead of you. Okay, let's get ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap. When the field accelerates, remember, there is no overtaking until the green flags. Safety car in this lap. Are you all right? Engine off, engine off.
Victory for the team from Milton Keynes then, after a quality performance. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. Let's have a quick look at how the driver's standings have changed. This result narrows the gap between our championship leader and the rest of the standings. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Well, you've put me in a bit of a tight spot today, but I think I'll go for Pierre Gasly. He kept a cool head under pressure and made the most of some difficult circumstances.
Let's move on to the constructors. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon. And with qualifying complete, let's review our top three today. Leclerc, Russell and Sebastian Vettel. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin, in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself 14 miles southeast of the city centre and home to the US Grand Prix since 2012. The latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honour. We have 10 turns to the left and 10 to the right here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas. Overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6 mile track. And we should see average lap speeds of around 126 miles per hour. And with me as usual is Anthony Davidson. Should we kick off our conversation with George Russell? They need 8th or better to ensure they stay in contention for the championship. Anything outside that and their fate is no longer in their hands.
And they can do it for sure, as long as they don't dwell too much on the position. At the end of the day, there's only one way to go racing, and that's to give it everything you've got. Either your best is good enough to stay in the hunt, or it's not. There's no point giving any less than 100%.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday puts him on pole. And starting next to them is George Russell. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Vettel, Bottas, Alexander Albon, and Gasly, Kvyat, the rookie, Norris, and Esteban Ocon, Magnussen, Stroll, Luca Giotto, and De Vries, Latifi, Aitken, Nobuharu Matsushita, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Joe, and Max Verstappen completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Let's get the car up to temperature on this lap. We're learning the gears, so go through them all if you can. The team want you to shift up through the gears earlier. They think it'll save fuel. What happened? Let me know you're okay.
So as they climb out of the car, the Red Bull team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly well-deserved win. Ant, talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves. So, let's review the drivers' standings. George Russell takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Often my go-to would be a driver who's managed to pull off an especially impressive feat during the race. However, in this instance, I was more impressed by Max Verstappen's solid, clean driving throughout the event.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Red Bull take over as championship leaders. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Well, things didn't really go your way today. Let's have your take. You're no... How do...
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. The rookie, Russell, and Kevin Magnussen. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that.
Let's talk about another team. How do you feel they did today? You left some body work out there on the track. Were you struggling for grip?
Great. Well, that's everything.
Here we go then. It's time to race in Mexico City, a place which gave Honda their first ever victory back in 1965. American Richie Ginther won from third on the grid. And what are the Honda-powered cars this year? Well, Red Bull have been going strong here in recent seasons, so can they keep that record going today? The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, 2.6 miles of track that allows drivers to take full advantage of their cars, reaching speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour, and providing lots of opportunities for overtaking. The circuit features 17 corners, 10 to the right and the remaining 7 going to the left. With the Grand Prix nearly upon us, Anthony Davidson is by my side once again to offer his perspective. Why don't we get things rolling by talking about George Russell? That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. The rookie lines up on pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Magnussen, Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Bottas, Stroll, Gasly, Norris and Nicholas Latifi, Albon, Ocon, Daniel Kvyat and Vettel, De Vries, Giovinazzi, Jack Aitken and Luca Giotto, Joe and Nobuharu Matsushita. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, how was the pull away? You'll have a bit more grip than that on the start, but we need to warm the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well. Fuel. Try shifting up the gears a little sooner. This should help us save some fuel. DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. You're leading the pack. P1, Russell behind. The gap to the car behind is 50.6 seconds. They're on old softs. Your pit window is open. Pit window is open. Russell is behind you. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 13 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1 minute 18.7. We're very low on fuel. Tried to shift up through the gears earlier. It may help save more fuel. Go, go, go. We'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy. Gasly is behind you. The gap behind us is 47.6 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 6 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:16.9. We've got a lot of spare energy. Use your overtake button. You are in first position, front of the pack, Gasly behind. Okay, the gap behind is 30.4 seconds. They're on old softs. Your pit window will open in 7 laps time. 17 laps to go. They're in 11th. So we've been looking at the damage, and we think you should be okay to continue. It'll cost us a little bit of time, but we're nearly at the end of the race. A new strategy is available on the MFD. Go now. Please stay clear of the white line on the exit. You'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track. There's 3 laps of fuel remaining. We have 2 laps of fuel remaining. Green flag. Some information on Latifi. They are out of the race. You are in first position, front of the pack. Bottas behind. The gap to the car behind is 41.5 seconds. They're on old mediums. This is your final lap of the race. Okay, clear. Some information on Stroll. They're retiring from the race. You need to slow down before hitting the corners. We don't want to get a penalty. Fantastic. You've won the Grand Prix.
Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection, a shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. So let's review the updated driver standings. That lead at the top of the table has shrunk somewhat today. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
It's an interesting one today. On balance, I think I have to call out Alexander Albon. A really solid drive from him today, and one that he and his team should be proud of.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull take over as championship leaders. Meanwhile, good work from Racing Point this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that.
How are you feeling after that win? You're leading the championship. Are you happy to be there or feeling the pressure? Things are looking up after last week, aren't they? Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing. Appreciate your time.